It's not a subtle point we're making with the music here. Get out the way. So after Razor took us through positioning last week and Simo and Horse on all the possibilities, that's how it all went awry on Thursday night. Just about as scripted that, couldn't he?
I don't think there'd been any more time dedicated to where you shouldn't stand in the history of a week, and including you, Razor, eh? And then we just, unfortunately, didn't quite get it right.
No, we didn't. G'day, guys. How are we? Welcome back.
Good.
Thank you.
So basically, yeah, what a way to kick the week off. I was late home. I'd been to the gym with Scarlett, and my phone blew up. So I raced in, rewound, started, and there it was, Gary.
Well, take us through, educate us, tell us where he should have been. And we're not picking on this umpire, of course.
No, obviously the width wins. Okay, so width for an umpire wins. The more distance you have away from the football, obviously the density's around the ball with the players. More density, the player's more likelihood of contact. So in this circumstance, the ball gets transitioned along the flank and you see like a magnet, he goes at the ball and he goes inside pit net. Now he's 15 metres away and it's coming at him like a bullet. Can't move, can't get out of the way, no peripheral vision, can't see the players. And to be fair to the players, they don't have a lot of scope to get out of his way either. So in this instance, if we roll that back and we have a look, if our umpire in that circumstance, rather than going at the ball like a magnet, goes right of screen because you want to try and get side onto the play, but heads the other side of pit net and comes back towards the top of the 50-metre arc, you're going to be far better off. If we stop it there, pull him out, imagine he's there and the kick goes in, no drama, no harm, no foul. Width will always win through the mid-zone. And I think we've got a couple of examples of this to have a look at in a second where we see our umpires implement a way better running pattern, get everyone in front of them, and we don't have any contact happen. Can I just say this, though? Like, it's a fluid game. It's continuous in nature, and we don't get, like with the NFL and NRL, reset. It's 360 degrees. So you can start outside play, you can start with width, but with transition, player movement, ball movement, there will be times that you're not going to be in ideal position. But there are things that umpiring can do in general play to mitigate the risk.
Show us when it's done well.
Yeah, so this is a really great example. Ball will get transitioned out of D50. And if we look at the bottom of our screen, Jordan Fry, second-year umpire, really wide. All the players are in front of him. And when that marking contest takes place, there's nobody to run into him because they're all ahead of him. That is a perfect setup, OK? The ball is only going to come to him in a long dump kick, 50 metres. So you've got time to adjust. And if you get outside of the play, you're not interfering with the kicking lane of the player and you don't run the risk of getting run into. Width always wins.
And outside the corridor, which is what the two boys, Simo and Horse, are talking about.
And it can be done, Gary, noting again that it's a fluid game and they're not exactly identical circumstances, but the principle is the same. Width will always win.
What did you think of the Adam Cerra scenarios that's played out tonight?
Yeah, look, this is a really challenging one. So in general play, and I've shown two examples here, because it's a collaboration between the players and the umpires to try and mitigate this risk of contact. In general play, I think the umpires need to be more curious, open-minded and change the things they're doing, like we saw in the second example. At stoppage, this is on players. So does the game say, so Lockie can't go and take Cerra to that contest and try and use the umpire as the shield, and therefore Cerra's got his back to the umpire. He's not in any way, shape or form worried about the umpire. He's doing his job. We understand that. So does the game need to say to stop this? If you go behind an umpire, there will be a free kick and a fine.
An exclusion zone.
It's an exclusion zone because otherwise they will keep doing this. And here's my point around it. Do we believe concussion is a serious issue?
Yes.
We've had 4 umpires concussed with player contact in 12 months. So if it's a serious issue for players, it's a serious issue for umpires. So get out of the road so that they can get out of the road.
Yeah, and that's more likely to be successful than going to the tribunal and quibbling over $6,250, $5,000 and settling at $5,500.
I've loved having you back.
Only the lawyers won tonight. Now, Simo and Horse spent time inside the umpiring department and laid out some scenarios, including some recommendations. So you watched this segment. What grabbed you?
Yeah, well, I loved the fact that they spent time. So in my 20 years umpiring AFL football, we had some former coaches come and speak and give us some education and those sorts of things, but it's not commonplace to see them. So I love that they were curious. For me, I loved there were three bits. Obviously, the rebuilding piece around the team. It's not even just the fact that there are 13 out of 42 listed umpires that are started this year with 2 years or less experience. It was their apprenticeship was taken away from them as well. So during COVID, they weren't umpiring footy in state leagues and what have you. So understanding that there is a significant proportion of umpires who are learning their craft in the most challenging environments.
Feedback I got from it all was the 19 bits of information they had to process to work out whether someone had come into the exclusion area.
Yeah, I went and watched my daughter participate at gymnastics. And I remember the first session she ever did, and it was forward rolls, Gary. And she's got to a point where she's doing round-offs and flips on a beam. So what I'm trying to say is there is a progression in umpiring where you do learn skills and rules and laws that become somewhat automated. Before stand, we still had set kick control. There were 16 steps, not 19. So there is some bits and pieces that have become more convoluted. But these are part and parcel of umpiring. And I think, look, you look at that and you read it, and if you've never seen it, it'd blow your mind. It's visually confronting.
19.
Yep. But most of them are really simple stuff.
Not 16, Razor, 19.
No, so 16, Gary, was before stand.
Oh, so now 19.
Yeah, just a couple of
Do you think
add-ons.
you could write a 20-word law that would actually do the job?
So understanding contextually what this is exactly what you're referencing. So how do you apply something versus how it's written out in a flow chart and different happenings that take place. And that's what comes down to the spirit of the laws. If you read the laws of Australian rules football, there are the A, B, C, D, all the way down to H. But at the top, there is the intention and the spirit, and that's what we're referencing in this. And the umpires are aware of what that is. It is a challenging game, but why does that... So the last bit about this is, are the rules too challenging or difficult? It's driven by player behaviour. So if let's have a look at, say, for instance, I know we want to talk about high contact. And we've had different players who have had to carry the cross, and at the moment it's Nick Watson. And so when I started umpiring, it was a very clear edict. Pay all high contact. That's a free kick. Well, if you do that, that's what you get here. You get a player who takes possession of the football, does not attempt to handball, run, kick, dodge, but lowers, leads with head, looks for free kick.
Yep.
And so we can't reward that behaviour. So now, with prior opportunity, if you duck or you drive with your head, it's considered a prior opportunity. Therefore, you're likely to incur a free kick for holding the ball.
What about paying a free kick for doing it anyway?
For having just for dropping?
For putting you and the player into a vulnerable position at a time where we've never been more cognisant of the issues.
I'm not against it, and I like in the game on the Saturday evening, I thought that was one area that the umpires officiated brilliantly. They didn't tumble in and they went the other way. So don't reward the behaviour, I agree.
You're in good form tonight. Exclusion zone and straight out ducking. What about ditching the bounce? Simo wants the bounce gone.
Yeah, I spoke to Simo and I told him I was in arrears on my mortgage. He said, don't worry, I've got this. We'll get rid of the bounce. I can make a comeback.
Yes, Razor. We all would love that.
We can make it.
Be careful what you wish for.
We've got a summer project ahead of us, I reckon. Good on you, Razor.